Hello and welcome to the web-based tutorial for the Library Literature and Information Science full-text database H.W. Wilson through Rutgers University and EBSCOhost. Scope of this particular database is primarily in the form of library information science, articles and similar related texts meant for the information professional and student. It is designed primarily for research as well as determining which articles are found where. Contains peer-reviewed content. Has no major statement regarding content covered, though. And, of course, there's a wide variety of publications present over several years. Look into the advanced search and see, for example, what we can do with this. The audience is that of library professionals and students, so there is a basic and an advanced search needed. The advanced search, as much of this whole database is using EBSCOhost as its primary vendor. It links the format to Rutgers' library proper. Now, there's a wide variety of this intuitive interface, and of course, help screens are available if you need them, but we'll bring that up in a minute. There's, of course, several types of search options present. There's an advanced search, as you can see here, but you can look at, say, a Boolean option, find any of your search terms, or all your search terms if you wanted. You could apply equivalent subjects, search within the text of your article, and possibly apply related words. And you can also reset any of these options listed just now or later if you choose. You can have a full text or a scholarly peer-reviewed set of results exclusively. There is a way to limit or specify your publication, when it was published, but that's if you know what you're actually searching for. Let's say you're not doing that. Say you're looking for an article, or possibly a journal, within an academic journal. You can narrow that down pretty quickly. You can also include full text article if you chose. There is an image option, but I'm not entirely sure how pertinent that would be. So let's scroll back to the basic search and show just what that can do. Let's go with something simple. Let's say archive, or archives in this case. It's pretty simple. As you can see, this results in a great deal of results. So let's go to the advanced search and narrow that down a little. Let's try something different. We're going to use a Boolean phrase, a simple subject search to match everything properly. Digitization would be another option. You can also expand this. There are more complex search options, of course, but I'm going to keep this relatively simple, primarily because I would think most searchers who would want to use this database at first would, want to utilize the subject search. What follows, you also get a list of search results here, as you can see. You can also view the results as needed. And there's quite a few results here, in both English and other languages. You can limit this too, to have it simply be full text articles, which, unfortunately results in having to go back to the search history. And you could make it simply scholarly and peer-reviewed articles too. If you view the results, there are 61 articles present. You can also link to full text and other articles. This one here gives us a PDF full text. Bit of a big deal, all things considered. How we see it is this. A simple article, and there are abstracts present, alongside a full text article link. Let's go back, though, pardon me for a minute. Go back to the result list, see what we can do. If you're going to look for a full text article, as opposed to, shall we say, not a PDF, but a linked full text, this opens up a new tab, and this takes us, admittedly in a somewhat delayed fashion, to a PDF of the document in question. This is quite intuitive and useful, especially if you're trying to look for an article. Let's exit out of that for a minute. Let's try a more complex search here, something that mixes both of them. Let's try doing a Boolean search within this, nesting a little. Let's say the digitization and archives for both the same deal, or rather the same search bar. Now let's add an OR operator here. The digital library. Or possibly digital library or digital libraries. We're going to stick with subject, partly because some searchers may not be familiar with authors on the subject. But if you are familiar with authors or abstracts or publications, you can include them as needed. There is also an option I might add for journal name if you chose to enter it. Let's search again. And this is, well, this is the one problem whenever one uses the OR Boolean operator. This results in a considerable amount of text. And unfortunately, this is what happens whenever you utilize it. It expands the results a little too much. So let's dial that back a little. Let's scroll down. Unfortunately, it leaves more or less the same result. And there's quite a bit to actually see here. But let's see what happens. Let's try searching for this article again. This specific one that I'm looking up. You could type in this particular name here, the source, as this is, in fact, the journal title. Make sure to use the ampersand to prevent any confusion with Boolean operators. Let's look at the journal name, search again, and wouldn't you know, you get a smaller set of results. About 171, and you can narrow that again from the publication date, type of source, even the subject, publisher, and even the language. You can narrow it to English if you chose, like here. Narrow down the subject. Make it digitization of archival materials. And of course, there are a wide variety of search options, details, and similar functions. There's also an RSS here, as you can see. Let's say, though, if you need help, you have that option. A pop-up window comes up, and you can type in whatever you choose. Let's say you want to look up controlled vocabulary. Where would you find that? Then all words. Interesting. You would have an expander applied as necessary. Although, interesting. There's another one, the thesaurus. The thesaurus is indeed present and useful here, as you can see, or rather through the help function. You can also look at the thesaurus here. With it, you can find controlled vocabulary. Let's say digital services. Browse for that exclusively. Oh, seems to not be there. Let's try digital archives instead, or just digital archive. Perhaps digital library, it seems, is linked to it. You can find a wide variety of items here. Add that to your search, and search more or less exclusively for that. You get a wide variety of results yet again. So that, of course, proves the presence of the thesaurus here. Everything is available. There are quite a few good features. You can link to other websites. There's also a citation search present, although, as it happens... Bear with me a minute. As I mentioned, there are other special solutions. You can citation search if necessary, although sadly I can't quite bring it up here. But there are other search options. And the result lists do include abstracts, full text results. Both are quite detailed. So if you want to utilize this database effectively, of course, if you want to rerun a search, you can rerun it right here. Refresh the search. You can refresh the search results here. Of course, you view the results again. As you can see, you get quite a setting of results and HTML full text, among other items. See, there's quite a bit to discuss here with this database, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.